All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me again, twice in one day. I do have some free time right now, so I might as well go through and add some more videos, some more tutorial videos for you to hopefully help you guide you through using the sBitx and I guess maybe be a power user at some point. So, of course, if as you know, the sBitx is an open source hackable experimental HF transceiver developed by HF Signals. And on my wiki, there are instructions on how to enable USB boot and even how to so you can boot from a USB drive, or you can also install and upgrade your sBitx through a USB drive without even opening the case. I know there are some people who are afraid to open the case or don't really want to be hassled by opening the case and swapping SD cards and doing all that stuff. So there is a way to do it that I figured out here, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So right now you're looking at my 64-bit version 5.0 sBitx screen here. And if you were followed along in my last live stream just a little bit ago, this is the SD card that I built and I put on, I'm sorry, this is the image that I built and put on my USB drive, and I put it into my the USB slot on my sBitx and booted it up. So when I initially booted it up, the sBitx application automatically starts. So I just ended up closing it down here. But you'll see everything's default here. So this video is going to go over how to, first of all, there's a multi-step process. One is enabling USB boot, so you can boot from your USB drive from the image that you created with Boolean Etcher or Win32 Disk Imager, Rufus, etc. So if I open terminal here, I'm going to type in sudo raspi-config. Now there are ways to do this. You can do this through SSH through terminal without even connecting to your sBitx to this method. But I'm going to show you through the sBitx console since we already have it here. So now you're going to bring up this menu, and you're going to go to Advanced Options, which is option number 6. It may be different if you're running on a 32-bit or older version. It may be a different option. Just look for something that says Advanced Options. Okay. So in here you're going to find boot order, which is A4. It says choose boot device priority. So I'm going to go ahead and select that with my arrow keys, press enter. And I'm going to go down to where it says option B2 in this case, where it says NVMe USB boot. And it says boot from the NVMe before trying USB and then SD card. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to press enter, select that. You'll see a screen flash in the background there. What it did is it changed your boot EEPROM to look for your USB drive instead of the SD card first. So now it says NVMe/USB is your default boot device. So now when you, let's go ahead and finish this out. It's going to give me a message saying, do you want to reboot? In your case, you're going to want to say yes. I'm not going to say yes because I don't want to reboot my sBitx right now. But, so your sBitx is going to reboot. So I'd recommend do not put your USB drive and connect that into the side of the sBitx on the first time it boots up after you change this setting. Make sure it boots up. It'll eventually boot up to your SD card. It will take approximately 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds or more for it to boot up after you select this USB boot option. So don't be concerned that your sBitx is corrupt. Just wait 10 to 30 seconds and you should see it boot up to the screen here. At that point, go ahead. If it boots up normally, go ahead and shut it down. Again, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do it from the sBitx application. I'll open this. And you can go into menu number 2, and there's a power down here. So you click this power down, and it says, do you want to power down? So this will power down your entire sBitx machine. You can click yes or no. In this case, I'm going to click no. And then you're good to go. So now that's the first step on enabling USB boot. Now, another thing you can do without opening your sBitx, and if you want to, say, for example, copy this software onto your local drive. Now you'll see on mine I have this bootfs and rootfs. These show up when you're in USB, when you have a USB booted up, if you have an SD card connected inside your sBitx. So in my case, it shows my internal drive. So if I go up here, you'll see that I have my root file system and my boot file system. So if I go into my boot file system, you'll see that has my bootloader and all that good stuff, my command line. If I go into root, see, I can go into here and I can go into home, pi. I can go into sBitx. So this is actually inside of my sBitx right now on my SD card, so I can copy my programs and do all my stuff that, if I wanted to do that. Here's my data folder. So here's my user settings file. I do not have a hardware settings file on this one yet. But here's my database. So if I wanted to, I could copy these over to my new or my USB drive. I could copy my sBitx database. I could put it in a folder. Just drag and drop there. So now I got a sBitx database on here as well. I would recommend using the Easy Data tool that I created to make a backup and restore. So in that case, you're going to need a separate USB drive to do this, because you can't use the same USB drive that you're booting up on your sBitx machine. You have to have a blank USB drive in order to copy that data over. So once you do that, you're going to go into the Pi menu, and you're going to go into Accessories, SD card copier. So in here, it's gonna bring up SD card copier, also known as Pi clone, if you're familiar with the command line version. So you're gonna get a copy from device and a copy to device. So copy from device, you're gonna see that here's my USB drive, and you'll notice that it's on /dev/SDA. So that's the one I want to copy from device. That's the one I want to select. Then copy to device. So I do have an SD card inside my machine right now, and that SD card is labeled SK32G for 32 gig card. More importantly, it's on dev MMC block 0. So this is the one that you're going to want to select. So if you do this in the opposite version, or the opposite direction, if you put SK32 up here in the copy from and the PNY down here, you're going to end up writing the contents of your internal SD card over to your USB drive, which you probably don't want. So before you click continue, I gotta select that again. You'll want to make sure that this new partition UUIDs is checked. You don't have to do this, but I can tell you it's going to make it a lot easier if you do, because if you boot up your USB drive and you have an SD card inside your sBitx, what's going to happen is it's not going to know. It's going to think that they're both the same hard drive because of the way that the partitions are formatted. So I'd recommend that you do new partition UUIDs, and then you go ahead and click start. After you click start, it's going to go through, I believe it's 2 phases. So first phase is it's going to format the your internal SD card. So you better make sure that you want to do this and that you copied your settings over before you do this. So that's the first stage. And then it sets up the boot partitions and the user partitions, etc. And then the second stage is when it actually does the bulk data copy. So when it says, I think it says stage 2 or something like that, that is going to take the bulk of the time to copy this data over. So once you do that, you're going to wait for it to complete, and then it should say copy complete. Go ahead and click close, and then I would recommend that you shut down your sBitx, either from the menu or from the sBitx application. Remove your USB card or USB disk. Apologize. Remove your USB disk, and then power up your sBitx again and see if your changes have made it over. So if it was successful, what you'll see is if you had a different background, usually you have like the tubes and whatnot on here. By the way, if you ever want to go back and change your background, you can go into here and select a different one that you want to try. So I can do this one. It's kind of a funky looking one, huh? Or I can go up to Pi, sBitx. I want the tubes back, I can go find them in here. All right. So yeah, in your case, if you see a different background, if you see SB Wi-Fi Manager on here, that's going to be new with version 5.0 and the hotspot and whatnot. Now, the second part of this video, I want to go through. Where is it here? Select my right source. Okay. Did not see my browser. All right, give me one moment. See if this will work. All right. Let's see. Chrome. Oh, that's why I'm using Chrome. I apologize. That's one thing about live streams is that there's always technical difficulties, right? So you guys get to see exactly what I'm doing and how bad I am at it. So again, I didn't really want to be a YouTube guy. I don't really prefer this, but I feel it's necessary to show you guys how to do these things versus reading a bunch of text and documentation. And now that I said that, I'm going to bring up my browser here. If it can cooperate with me. There it is. All right, I apologize for that. Make this a little bigger. Hopefully you guys can see that all right. All right, so now we went through USB boot and copying data over to your USB drive or to your SD card. I'm going to talk about the wiki. So what I just covered is on the wiki page. So if you go to github.com/drexjj/sbitx/wiki, you'll find our wiki out here with our table of contents on the right here and our homepage on the left. And the link is in the description below if you want to check this out on your own. But you'll see installation and backup section here. So we show you how to back up your entire SD card. Again, that's using that SD card copier utility, saving the important configuration files, what those configuration files mean and what they do. Try our pre-configured PiOS image, 64-bit sBitx on your USB drive. So I'm going to go ahead and click this one. I'll show you, which is what we just went through. So you obviously want to back up your files first. There's a quick link to the wiki article on how to do that. The requirements for backing it up. So you want to download the latest, install it. You can check my other videos for that. And we went through these steps: Raspberry config, go into advanced options, change your boot order, USB boot. Now there is a section down here that some people have encountered errors in the past, and this is because of the Raspberry Pi has old firmware on it and doesn't really know how to enable USB boot. So that's, you know, in terms of Raspberry Pi, that's sort of a newer thing with the Raspberry Pi 4s. So basically you come in here, it says connected to the internet, go into here, Raspberry config, and try it again. So there's a few things, I don't know why, but it just doesn't work that way. So again, the most important things you want to copy are your data and web folder. In the web folder, you really only need your macro files to start at MC, pretty much anything, ft8.mc, cw.mc, etc. And then here's a way to actually switch this back to booting from the internal SD card. So I'm going to go ahead and click back. So this one here shows you how to actually install it on your USB drive, which we did cover. And again, a lot of text here, but this is important to show you guys what to do, and I think these videos will complement the wiki articles as well. So, and for those of you guys who are really new to small board computing, aka Raspberry Pis, etc., there is an overview here on you know, with the Raspberry Pi, what an image is. It's basically like a if you're familiar with Windows, like an ISO disk file that you'd put in to install Windows. The only difference is that on this, it's basically already built for you. You just have to put in a few settings and you're on your way, so you don't have to build something from scratch. So there are plenty of articles out here. If there's stuff that's missing, you know, we do monitor Discord and try to put new articles out here as needed. We do have some volunteers that help out. KK7OIM is a guy who likes to help out. N1AI Dave, he's also in here helping out. So this sBitx 64-bit project actually started with me and W2JON, and then we added N1QM, Lars OZ7BX, Lee W4WHL, Jeff KF7DYU. So a lot of these guys kind of came in after the fact, but they've definitely contributed their fair share of making things work. Now, more importantly, or in addition to the core development team, we also have other developers. So if I go back to let's go back to here on the README page here. So again, it shows our core developers as well as our other contributors and other developers. So we have Mike KB2ML, who has been working with Chris W0ANM and Bob KD8CGH, who all have been working on CW improvements. One of the great things about CW on the sBitx now is that Bob was comparing it to his KX2 and KX3. We were capturing the waveforms and Audacity and some other tools on oscilloscopes and overlaying the images together, and we've come a long way, light years, on the sBitx now with Morse code and CW operations. Some of the other guys that are helping out that are part of our early adopter team would be HA3HZ, VK3PYE, Mike WD0OM, Paul, and Fabrizio F4BUK. And of course, our the guy who made it all happen here is Farhan VU2ESE. Without his platform, we wouldn't really have anything to go off of. So appreciated him for making it open source and letting us do our thing. So if you have any questions, you can certainly go to our wiki page. You can check things out. You can join us on Discord. We typically check Discord primarily, to help out with our projects here. We do go on groups.io or the Facebook group for sBitx as well, and try to help people out. But I'd say the bulk of it, if you really want fast and speedy service, we'll help you on our Discord server. It's monitored a lot. We have I don't know, close to 450 members now on our Discord server. So we talk about, I'd say the bulk of it is for sBitx and zBitx and uBitx HF Signals hardware, but we also have other sections in there that we talk about other SDR platforms and projects like the Hermes Lite, the Radio Berry, and a bunch more things. So does anyone have any questions? Doesn't look like any questions are popping up in chat here. So, all right. Well, I want to keep this short, and I appreciate everyone coming on and taking a look at this video, learn how to do things with the sBitx, and I hope you guys enjoy it and have fun, and we'll talk to you soon.